Observer Effect. This is Star Trek Enterprise Season 4. It feels like we're back to Season 1 and 2 greatness. I loved this episode. This is another example of a just classic style Star Trek episode, the ones that I love. New species, problem to solve, contact with something new, haven't seen it before, blah, blah, blah. I love ones that take place sometimes from the aliens' perspective. So in this one, Hoshi and Trip have been infected by this virus and they're gonna die. Now, this virus is located in this unexplored planet, and it's only in one section. And then there's these aliens that observe other species and how they react when they get the virus. Now, they can save them, but they don't. Now, they didn't cause the virus. They're just observing. That's it. So we're going to use my space method to review this. Story, pacing, artistry, characters, enjoyment. Each category gets a score between 0 and 2. 2 is the best. Okay, story, 2 out of 2. Classic Star Trek tale. So these aliens that are observing, the way they do is that they take over some of the crew. And they can hop minds. So they're non-corporeal. They're just like these, I don't know what they are. It's like consciousness or something. They can just teleport to different guys. So they're in Mayweather and they're in Reed. And through those two characters, they observe humanity, learn about us, blah, blah, blah. So when the virus hits, Phlox and all of them are concerned, saying, well, we got to help Hoshi and, Hoshi and Trip. And they're like, okay, so how are we going to figure this out? And now the aliens are like, well, there's a 70% chance that this happens. And the Klingons, remember what the Klingons did? They just killed the 2 crew members, So it's like they're going through all this stuff to figure out like what species is worthy of contact. And that's sort of the excuse for why this is happening. And then the one guy, so there's the one alien who's in Mayweather's body. He's sort of like, well, why do we have to do it this way? Like, is there a better way to do this? Like, these humans seem pretty cool. Why are we doing this? Maybe we should just help them. And then the guy who's in Reed is like, no. This is just the way it's always been for 10,000 years. This is how we observe people. That's it. So, and they play chess with each other and they're learning about our culture and all of that. Meantime, Hoshi and Trip are having a nice little conversation. Well, I'll get to the character section. So I love the story here. The way it concludes is really cool to me. I thought it was awesome. Pacing, I'm going to give it a 2 out of 2 for pacing, actually, because I know this seems slower paced, but I like this because while there's 2 things going on. While Phlox is figuring out how to cure the virus, they're getting worse, but the aliens are observing this and giving their commentary. And I liked both of those things happening almost back to back. It's like one scene of this, one scene of that, one scene of this, one scene of that. Some of the best stuff happens in the end or towards the end where Phlox realizes that, oh man, there's some other species on board, and they talk to him. That was cool. And then they even talked to Archer at the end, and that was super cool conversation where Archer's like, you know what, guys, you're these aliens. I'll get to the characters about that, but that scene is really good. Artistry, I'm gonna give it, I guess I'll give it a 1. I mean, it's all on the ship. There's nothing to see, or like the ship looks cool, the music's good, all that's good. So the artistry's a 1. It's a ship episode, but I mean, I still like that. It's hard to talk about a ship episode. It's just on the ship. So I'll give it a 1. Characters, 2 out of 2. So back to that part I was telling you, when the aliens talk to Archer, Archer feels like he's kind of back. He's like, you guys evolved, but you gave up compassion. It's like you gave up all of these, emotions. It's like kindness. You gave all this stuff up. And it's like, now you're just these cold, bodiless things. And it's like, I don't want to be that. So that was really nice. The 2 aliens are really interesting because they're going back and forth. One of the things about Star Trek that makes it Star Trek is that even when you meet an alien species, each character in that alien race is still a unique character. So you have the one guy who's the hardcore, look, this is how we observe people. We don't make first contact unless they pass our tests. And we've been doing this for 10,000 years. The other guy's like, yeah, but these humans have passed all these tests. Like you said, there's a 2% chance that any alien would even, like the one guy, like at one point Archer removes his gloves in order to treat Hoshi, and it's like, well, now he's got the virus, and the alien's like, has that ever happened? It's like, no, that's like never happened. Someone's gonna die to say, right? So like, he's like, they're different. So all that stuff was great. The stuff with Hoshi and Trip was awesome. Just learning a little bit about them. This is what Star Trek's supposed to be. I'll get to the enjoyment factor is 2 out of 2. I'm giving this a 9 out of 10. It's pretty much a 10 out of 10. But I have to give it a 9 out of 10 because they're just on the ship. Nothing else happens in the artistry category. But really, it's a 10 out of 10 episode. if you're just talking to me in general outside of my YouTube, video where you're watching me give you these points or whatever, I'm going to tell you, oh yeah, this is 10 out of 10. You should watch it. But it's a 9 out of 10 officially through the space scale. Anyway, yeah, like, oh man, it's so good. This is what I like about Star Trek. It's like you learn about a little bit about the characters. It doesn't have to be all of them. You learn about a couple of characters, problem to solve, alien, contact, that kind of stuff. Loved it. This was awesome. If you like my space system, please remember to like the video, consider subscribing to the channel. That's it. Until next time.